How's it going, peeps? Welcome back to Viva La Coin. I am Joe. I will be your host for today's episode. For everyone new, thanks for joining. And for everyone that keeps coming back, hopefully I keep bringing some good, useful content so that you can make the best decisions for you. Today, I'm going to touch on three different things. So I'm going to touch on Ethereum breaking that $2,000 mark all the way up to $2,100. I'm going to talk about Coinbase's IPO listing, how big this is for the crypto space and what this actually means for other exchanges and for crypto investing. And then finally, I'm going to wrap up with just a piece of friendly advice to keep in mind when you're consuming content or trying to make decisions, because you're going to see a lot of bullshit out there. And I want you to be able to make the best decisions. So I'm just going to point that out at the end, and hopefully you can take something useful away from it. But let's just go ahead and jump into the first story here. And I do want to start with Ethereum. So Ethereum just out of nowhere seemingly jumped up and broke that $2,000 mark. Now, if you have been following my channel, I've mentioned that their new partnership working with Crypto.com and Visa for the stable coins and settling payments with Visa, it was going to have a massively positive effect for them. Visa does not care about the gas fees. So even preemptively before EIP 1559, which I've done a video on prior, if you're unfamiliar with it, you can go back and look. They can still do whatever they want with Ethereum without really taking the hit that you and I would trying to transact or trade on the Ethereum network. Now, a couple big other pieces came out, and I'm going to just point those out real quick. And later on in my advice piece, I'm going to break something down about Ethereum, especially with some of these other altcoins and in the way that people represent them. I think it's very misleading. But so far, if you were holding Ethereum, congratulations for sticking it out. I know a lot of people staked it and it's wrapped up in staking until that roadmap is finished. So hopefully that gives you a little peace of mind that they're coming back up. And I do see good things for them moving forward as these updates come out. Now, for them, they have the Berlin upgrade, and that's scheduled to officially go live with their mainnet in April. So I pulled up a separate tab just to talk a little bit about that, but they have a series of different updates and things that they do to these networks. Same with Cardano, same with Binance Coin. They all were works in progress. There are very few completed, ready to go cryptocurrency blockchains out there. So a lot of what people invest in is more or less the potential of what the networks could do. And understanding that potential, their shortcomings in the roadmaps, maybe successes and breakthroughs that they have is a better way to understand what the potential value will be in the short term, as well as whether you want to hold it long term through the bear market as well. Now, for this deployment of their mainnet on this Berlin update, it's going to be April 14th. And one of the big things that they were trying to do along with this update was they were trying to do a project called Optimism, which ironically was named Optimism because it was supposed to reduce gas fees and bring layer 2 rollups and different solutions to the Ethereum network to speed everything up and to make it more affordable. And that was delayed as well to July with EIP 1559. However, they have been starting to make progress when it comes to those fees. And it actually just came out probably 2 days ago, 3 days ago, that OpenSea, which is one of the largest places that people are transacting right now, purchasing and selling NFTs, they instituted a layer 2 protocol that would enable gas-free trading. And that layer 2 protocol is known as Immutable X, and that will kill the trading fees that have shocked newcomers. So that is really big news. I mean, NFTs have been the massive dark horse of this entire bull run. No one anticipated how large they were going to be, the associated blockchains and how quickly they would rise, as well as just the absorbent cost that they're being sold for. Now, again, I'll continue to reiterate, I do believe it is a very dangerous bubble, because when the market starts to dip, if you own the actual NFTs, it's not like your position in Ethereum where if it drops by 25%, you can exit and take what profits that you have left. You have to find someone that's willing to buy that NFT from you. And if the whole market is going down and no one wants to pay more for that, you're not going to ride it down 25% and then offload it. No one's going to be buying those dropping knives. All they're going to do is ride it all the way, probably back to the base floor. And then they're going to sit there, and hopefully some of those projects like CryptoPunks or some of the more well-known ones, I'm sure Beeple will be fine. But a lot of those random celebrities and influencers jumping on, doing NFTs, all this other bullshit, if you spend all your cryptocurrency on those NFTs and you think they're all going to be worth $1 million a year from now, please do some additional research and take caution there. Now, for Immutable X, I'm not super familiar with them. This was my first time hearing of them when this story came out. So I am going to dig a little bit deeper into them to bring additional information in future videos. I just wanted to mention them because they are part of this layer 2 solution that will be eliminating those gas fees. And for anyone that's unfamiliar with what a rollup is, this is the best way to think of it. So when Ethereum is doing their transactions on the blockchain, you can only fit so much information on a singular block before that goes through. And since it was getting so congested, you had these higher fees back up because the miners are charging more to push these transactions through, and it's slowing everything down. So if you want to send Ethereum somewhere, or if you're trying to pay for things on Uniswap, the prices are going to be higher, the transactions move slower. Well, in rollups, it basically takes a ton of these different transactions and sort of sticks it onto a layer 2 solution on the side of whatever block is about to be pushed through, and it pulls all that information through as well. So it's really going to, as they continue to add layer 2 solutions and protocols to Ethereum, it's going to make the network much smoother. And ultimately, in my opinion, I don't give bullshit garbage price predictions because no one knows where it's going to head. But I do believe this will have a positive effect, and we're going to see some of that rise in value that people were expecting throughout Q1 of this bull run. Now, the second story I want to jump into is the Coinbase IPO. So Coinbase is one of the largest exchanges in the world, obviously not as big as Binance, but it has so much importance because the US, or the United States, is a very large cryptocurrency market. There are a lot of people that participate in cryptocurrency in the United States, and Coinbase is the largest and most easily accessible exchange in the US. So now that they're doing their IPO, or initial public offering, all that means is their stock as a company will be available for purchase in the US stock market, and you can go in and buy shares of Coinbase. It then almost validates Coinbase and some of these other exchanges in a way that they haven't been validated in the past. If you look at a lot of the stories previously about exchanges or cryptocurrency and anything that would try and tie them into centralized finance, everyone looked at it as almost like you were either a drug dealer, a thief, you were selling people's kidneys on the black market. And people still to this day continue to push this narrative that cryptocurrency is some vast way to avoid paying taxes or launder money and all this shit. And if you want to study laundering money or doing unethical things, dig a little bit into the US dollar, because that is a whole can of worms that I'm sure would interest a lot of people. So this is exciting, and what's even better about it is on the 14th, when they go live, Coinbase was valued at about $90 billion in its final week of trading on the NASDAQ's private market. So $90 billion, that is a ton of money. Now, for, let's say, the total market cap of Bitcoin, right? So it's over $1 trillion, and you're like, oh, 90 billion, that isn't a lot. Well, you have to think that we're just talking about Coinbase as a company. So $90 billion is an extremely high valuation for a company that's about to go live. And just to give you an idea of how large that actually is, I pulled up a Forbes tracker of the Global 2000, so it's the world's largest publicly traded companies. And just to compare and contrast, Johnson & Johnson is worth $82.8 billion. That's a household name. So, well, sorry, that's their sales. So their overall market value is $395 billion. But still, that is a ton of money. If you look at, let's say, Pepsi, $183 billion. That is a ton of money for fucking Pepsi and all of their Super Bowl commercials. And Coinbase is about to go live for the first time, valued in at almost half of that. That is an insane amount of money for this company. And I think it brings validation to exchanges and some exchange protocols and some of their coins that they have on there. And Binance Coin is the number one that pops into my head. So Binance Coin, although some people love it, some people dislike it, Binance Coin has a ton of use cases now in that Binance ecosystem with the addition of the Binance Smart Chain. And I've covered them in a couple of previous videos, but I keep showing the total locked in value of that entire smart chain is up to about $22.26 billion. So they're starting to climb up a bit compared to where Ethereum was. Now I'm sure all of Ethereum's DeFi projects will start to pump now that Ethereum's rising. But the Binance coin being the native token to Binance, the largest exchange in the world, Binance is not public. But if they see Coinbase go public with a 90, maybe even higher billion-dollar valuation, that may incentivize them to go live, or it at least gives more value to the exchanges or their native tokens than what it would have otherwise. If Coinbase went live and they were worth nothing and they completely crashed and burned, I think they would take a little bit of validity away from some of their speculative valuations or prices. So in the long term, I think this will have a beneficial effect for not only other cryptocurrency exchanges that are centralized, but I think each of their own native tokens, as they add additional value, whether it's if Voyager follow suit with VGX and add some additional value there, or some different tie-ins aside from earning a little bit of interest, or KuCoin has a native token, BitMEX, I believe theirs has been going up, maybe it was BitMEX. So just another thing to keep an eye on, but I think that this Coinbase IPO is going to be like a $90 billion catapult that's going to throw crypto even further into center stage and keep driving external investors that understand a stock market valuation to then look a little bit deeper in the crypto valuations and say, oh shit, there is a lot of money in this, I'm in. And then the final thing I want to touch base on here is for when you talk about looking into other information or trying to gauge where the market is, if you are a new investor or just someone who's trying to stay up on things, you're working a couple jobs, and this could be life-changing for you over the course of this year, here's what I want everyone to pay attention to. So I saw no less than probably 15 fucking videos come out within 5 minutes of Ethereum breaking $2,000. And every single one had the title of Ethereum to 5,000 in April, or Ethereum will make you a millionaire this year, or just something like that, or big warning for Ethereum. You saw a lot, especially with CME futures closes when we had the dip. Oh, is this the end of Bitcoin? Or, Cardano, the Ethereum killer. All these outlandish fucking titles and garbage, where you go in and you get a bunch of technical analysis from people who hopefully understand that this market is somewhat manipulated from the top down. And they'll just say, oh yeah, the technicals look good, Bitcoin's going to go up. And then they hammer it down on the 15-minute markers and everyone gets liquidated. There were billions of people liquidated in Q1 because we're following the advice of these technical individuals that are talking about this as if it's not being manipulated or crushed down and people are losing money. Then you're coming out and saying, okay, well, Ethereum will make you a millionaire this year. Oh, well, I am the average American investor with $400 that I couldn't even pay an emergency expense if I had to. Sure, I'll put it in Ethereum. I can't wait to be a millionaire. Well, good fucking luck, because that isn't the way it's going to work. And you'll talk shit on one project or you'll pump up another one and where the value is, but you don't compare the market caps, because Ethereum would have to go to $400 billion just for you to double your money, right? And then let's say even Cardano would have to go to 80 billion for you to double your money. And everyone just pits it against each other while they shame anyone that might be investing in smaller coins that I covered on here, like VRA. And they're like, oh, that's a shitcoin. Well, that shitcoin made me 10,000% in the positive on my initial investment. I still think they have room to go. Ethereum, even if it doubles, I got my nice 100% gain over the course of the next month. So when you're going in and you're watching these videos, do not panic or act upon what they're saying without doing additional research. When they say, oh, there's a big warning, urgent warning for Bitcoin. You know who's going to need a fucking warning? Your therapist. When you go in after having panic attack after panic attack, watching your money fluctuate up and down with everyone spreading either this euphoric or gloom and doom shit all over your news feed, it doesn't give you a good grounded perspective. I saw tons of people yesterday sell off 10 different altcoin positions that they had and dumped it all into Ethereum so they don't miss the pump or miss being a millionaire. And then we're still sitting right around 2,100. And a lot of the coins that they pulled out of those other tokens, they're up far more than Ethereum's past 24 hours of 3.4%. And it can be very misleading in some of the way that it is brought out. So when you go in and you're watching all these things, do additional research. Find unbiased opinions on it. If someone is so hardcore Ethereum and they're messaging about it every single day and saying it's going to 5 million, and then when it's dumping, they're real quiet, they're not saying anything, but they're talking shit on Cardano, maybe that isn't the best place to get your information because they're a little biased. And also, a lot of the people that have a much larger voice in cryptocurrency, they've been in this space for a long time. So they're looking at their portfolio with dozens of Bitcoin or 100 Ethereum, and they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're going to be millionaires. Well, okay, but you're disillusioned to what the average person is going through in their investing journey right now, getting started. And I don't think that you're really bridging the gap in thinking about it is if you were a new investor, what you were going to do. And then finally, I saw on the other end where half of the people aped into Ethereum and sold all their other positions. Then I saw them coming out and saying, oh, you said Ethereum was dead. And they're talking shit on like Cardano people and calling it vaporware. I'm like, no, Ethereum has had issues. Ethereum has not scaled properly. That is something that I think everyone that understands what the network has struggled with can agree upon unbiasedly. Now, I also need Ethereum to succeed. That's something I want. Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, raises the whole cryptocurrency market. Ethereum raises all the other altcoins. So I'm cheering for Ethereum. I'm cheering for Cardano. I'm cheering for every other token here because the more there's that infighting and talking shit on each other's stuff, all you're going to do is just confuse the shit out of new people coming in. And then I had someone message me and they said, oh, I saw Ethereum's going up now and I put money into Cardano because you were talking about it and now everyone's calling it like vaporware and bullshit and they don't have smart contracts. I'm like, okay, well, their smart contracts are coming towards the end of April with the Alonzo hard fork. And Orion Protocol, who a lot of people that like Ethereum are big fans of Orion, just became the first liquidity aggregator for Cardano. And that partnership was just announced and finalized yesterday. And they can't have smart contracts if it's not live. And their whole network just went decentralized on March 31st, which means that it's people all over the world 100% decentralized that are running the network and, creating the blocks. It isn't the team behind it. And in the meantime, Ethereum has smart contracts, but barely any of it is staked and they haven't solved other problems that Cardano has. Have a balanced outlook. Have an understanding of why certain things matter when they do. And don't just look at one project and say, here's what's good about it. And I refuse to hear anything bad about it. And that other project, I saw someone else talk shit about it. And I think that I'm going to stake my territory there. And I'm just going to talk shit about it too. Nothing is absolute. If you think in absolutes, you're going to undercut yourself. Please continue to do your research. And that's why I hope when you come back here, I'm not a specific channel that covers any one thing. I don't want to sit here and give you some $100,000 Ethereum prediction because I have a bunch of it staked and locked up in some protocol and I'm shitting my pants if Cardano starts taking the lead. That shit doesn't matter to me. All I want you to do is to understand what is being updated, where the value is, what this means for the whole space, and make the best decisions for you. So keep coming back, share the video to anyone else that's newer to crypto or that you might feel can benefit from seeing an unbiased real look into some of these things. And as always, I'm honored that you came and you're following me and you're on this channel. I'll keep bringing the value. And thanks for joining me on this episode of Viva La Coin, and I will catch you guys next time.